15 shutdowns over the past 2 weekends were supposed to include repaving both sides of a key stretch of highway, freeway. Turns out crews could not fully repave it. NDOT says it encountered supply chain disruption, meaning crews could not complete all the initially planned paving work. But NDOT kept the closures in place between the 215 and Flamingo in both directions as it completed several components of the I-15 Tropicana interchange project, as well as adding new overhead signs. NDOT says it will find time to complete the remaining paving, likely working at night to minimize traffic impacts.